Today is October 12th. The ALDS has started. NLDS tomorrow. Postseason is hot right now. And we're over here thinking about the rotation in the bullpen for 2026. You're listening to the Bridge to Buctober podcast. Yins, guys. Thank you for listening to the Bridge to Buctober podcast, where we talk all about them Pittsburgh Pirates and that. My name is Josh. His name is Jake. What's up, Jake?
What's going on, man? Long weekend for me, man.
Watching a bunch of postseason. Oh, okay.
Largest car show in America just rolled through our town.
Yeah.
And I had to work during it, so it was pretty busy. Some 12-hour days dealing with people.
We are right in the middle of ALCS Game 1. Did I say DS when I did the opener? I typed DS.
I didn't notice.
Like a goofball. And now my opener is outdated before it ever even started.
Good stuff, man.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
We'll start it off on the right foot there. How we doing, chat? Be live. This is going to be a fun one. So last week we said we were going to talk about basically all this wishful thinking about 2026, and we only made it through the offense. So this will be basically part 2 of that. We're going to make it through the pitching side of things today. But we got to talk a little bit about the postseason first, because this is still a baseball show after all, and that's what's going on. I've got it right below this screen, so you're going to see me looking down a lot because I got this up here. Jake's up here, right? My notes are over here in the chat, but I got the game on right below me here instead of the TV behind me, because I didn't want to keep doing this move if you're watching on video like I was doing last week. So that's what we're going to do. Anyway, before we do that, I think it's only fair. I don't have a thing, but we'll do this. Happy birthday, Katie.
Happy birthday, Katie.
And happy birthday, Scott Chamberlain. A lot of you guys might know him as the Bucko fan. Happy birthday to him, too.
Another little piece of history.
So, I was told, make sure that there's a shout out. So, we did it. I'm just kidding. Anyway, yeah, postseason. Rolling. We're in the championship series now. Did you? I don't remember. Did you have these two teams picked? You had the Brewers. We both had the Brewers. Did you have the Yankees moving on or the Blue Jays?
I think once it was the Yankees and Blue Jays, I had Blue Jays. But I think I was rooting for the Red Sox, but
I got you. Okay. I just said Milwaukee. Seattle. Milwaukee's on the other side. Goofball.
Yeah.
Man, I'm on a roll right now. I told Jake right before we got started, hey, I'm going to go grab some pills for this headache so I can think straight. They haven't kicked in yet.
They haven't kicked in. It's all right.
Anyway, yeah, Seattle, which I did have Seattle moving to this part. I had Seattle going to the World Series. But I had them going against the Yankees.
I had Seattle beating Cleveland was my.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because I had Cleveland. I just thought the Tigers, I didn't think it was going to click.
No. Yes. Last round. I did too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did too. I thought it was Cleveland as well. But in this, yeah. So on the other side, which starts on Monday night, tomorrow night, I had the Brewers and I had the Phillies, and then I had the Phillies moving on. So the Dodgers have beat the Phillies. I think for me, I'm going all in on a Brewers-Mariners World Series.
I wouldn't hate it.
I don't think that there's a scenario I won't like at this point. Does that sound like you get that? I think no matter what it is, right? Obviously, if it's the Dodgers, then you're just saying, see, all you have to do is spend money. And it helps you, right? Moving forward, saying we need to even this thing out because it's always the team with the most money who has the last laugh and stuff like that. I also would love to see somebody like Milwaukee go through and say, see, you don't need money to win. We can win as well. You know what I mean? So there's that. Martin says he thinks the Blue Jays will win this series. I also really like the idea of a Brewers Blue Jays because I think I talked about this before. They're two teams who just hit. Mm-hmm. They don't strike out a bunch. But
isn't it if Seattle and Milwaukee end up there, one of them will win their first championship?
Jake,
right?
The two of them are trying to get to the World Series for the first time. Neither team's even been there before.
Yeah.
So with the Blue Jays, you have one from a long time ago. And then obviously the Dodgers are, reigning champs right now. So
yeah.
For me, and I'm just going to go here, I'm going to go Brewers and then we'll segue into our talk here, right? But for me, I am just very excited that the Brewers, sorry, Cheryl, I know Cheryl's pulling for the Cubs right now, former Cubs fan, so we'll give her a pass on that. I loved that the Brewers beat the Cubs mostly just for Craig Counsell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you remember, that was a big deal in Milwaukee.
Massive deal.
Massive deal when he left. Making the postseason 5 out of 6 years. And the only year that, being first place in 3 of those years and second twice. 2020 was their only, bad season. And that's kind of one of those, you get a pass season. 92 wins in 2023. And he left. And what's happened since then is the Cubs have finished second to the Brewers both years and now and they didn't make the postseason last year and now making the postseason, but still second to the Brewers and then losing to the Brewers to go home. And a postseason series that Counsell had not won since 2018 and now they're moving on. And they didn't last year, you know what I mean? But they did and against Counsell.
Yeah.
So, and it's not that 2018 is a really long time.
Right.
But it's still something that just hadn't happened. 4 straight postseasons early exits. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just love that he's been playing second fiddle to them ever since he essentially bailed on them, on the team in the city. That's the way they felt anyway. Right?
Yeah.
I want to say though, because now's as good a time as ever. I mean, if you remember, Counsell was regarded to be the best, the highest paid. It was a big deal that he was moving because he was supposed to be the guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he hasn't really. How much does a manager really make a difference?
Yeah, it's tough, man, especially at that level. You got all these guys that have they've made it, right? They've made it. So I don't want to say they're done, but I mean, they're about as finished of a product as you can get. And even at that, I think your hitting coach or your pitching coach or your infield coach, outfield coach, they're going to make you better players more than the manager will. Managers just got to pull the right strings.
Okay.
And the manager's got to hire those people.
Right, yeah. Yeah. Interesting. So I'm coaching in general, even, you know what I'm saying? Maybe not even just manager, but coaching in general. I'm just wondering, and obviously today is kind of one of those days, right? Where James Franklin is fired by Penn State. And when you think about it, the college game, college athletics really is so different because you're talking about everything from recruiting, building a culture, you've got turnover, plus you have the in-game stuff that the managers do, plus you have the all the things that the managers and the head coaches do at the professional level, but you also are essentially a GM. You know what I mean? You're also essentially like, you don't have like a full, well, most sports you don't either. But here you have a GM doing that. I don't know. I don't know how much, if you look at Cincinnati as an example, right? They bring in Tito. They went from the worst manager in baseball to Tony Francona, possibly Hall of Fame manager, right?
Yeah.
And you saw some improvement. It was enough to make a difference, right? But you had all this young talent. You had all the makings of this team should be good. And then all he did was basically said, all right, now be good. And they still just barely got in.
Yeah.
And I think it'll get better for Cincinnati. Like their roster is good. If they actually make additions to it, like that's a team that we're thinking about. This division's not easy.
Right.
But when you look at once David Bell was fired, now the Pirates have the worst manager in MLB. And he was replaced by Don Kelly, who's not a Hall of Fame manager with a Hall of Fame career. And you saw some improvement. There will be some improvement. But for Cincinnati, still some improvement. And you had a huge gap between the two. And then you look at what Craig Counsell's done, and you, like I said, regarded as the top dog, making all this money. And they've not missed him at all, at least on the field, at all in Milwaukee. Nothing's changed. They're still in first place. They're still in first place 3 straight years. You know?
Yeah.
And 2 of those with a new manager. They haven't stopped. And they've got a lot of young talent that all is coming up and all playing well. They've even moved some parts in and out. Like, they've done everything in that organization, from the GM, from the front office level. They've done all of that so well. Cheryl says we're frozen. I've got excellent everything. Which is weird because she actually sent the message too. Nope, you're good, she said. Thank you. Thank you. So anyway, that might have just been me pausing while I was thinking. No. Yeah, okay. I'm just going to make sure it looks good on my end. So, you know, we're saying, you know, when do you buy in? What do you buy into a manager making that kind of a difference? Or I tell you what, let's just go ahead and segue, and then we can be more specific. Okay. Because we're talking pitching today. And so obviously the Pirates, they don't have a pitching coach right now. We don't know who it's going to be in 2026. It's obviously been an interesting topic because a lot of people are not happy with this decision to make a move. Could this be, and we know, okay, so let's level set here. We know that the players had some input on this. The pitchers had some input on this. Do you put any stock, and I'm asking you these questions, right? Do you put any stock to grass is greener? Well, I think we could be better if we had somebody different.
I mean, you can say that, but I mean, yeah, it could be an instance like that, but at the same time, like, those pitchers are studs, man. We have a really good pitching staff, and I think we overlook that at times. The pitchers have to be, their stuff is nasty. And without nasty stuff, I don't care who your coach is, it's going to be hard to get the production that we've been getting out of our pitchers. And maybe they're owed it if they think they can do better to look around.
Okay.
I don't know.
So my follow-up to that was going to be something about, is there some sort of, the pitchers are the ones that are good, not the coaches at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it sounds like you're more leaning that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of it for sure. I think coaches enhance the talent that's there. I think the coaches can. It depends on what you're looking at, because I mean, sure, if somebody's fastball is leaking out over the plate, you can sit there and say, "Hey, man, your front side's not strong. Let's fix your front side. Your fastball is going to be sharp again. You're going to be putting it where you want. It's not going to leak out over the plate because you got a good solid foundation on the front side." Like stuff like that maybe the pitcher just doesn't realize. And even if he has good stuff, Arquides Caminero threw 101 miles an hour and he couldn't get people out because he threw it right straight as an arrow and right down the middle.
Yeah, and I think a lot of pitch design and all that stuff. I mean, they're now throwing 100 with hair. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And location is everything. Still, I don't care how hard you throw. Location's everything.
Yeah.
But
well,
yeah.
I mean, 102 down the pipe is still hard to hit.
It's still hard to hit, but they can do it.
Sure. And off speed stuff. You got to be off balance. You have to respect the off speed stuff.
Yeah.
If you've got nothing off speed, they're just going to sit fastball. It doesn't matter how hard you throw.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't love when I heard that they fired or let go of Marine, but at the same time, it's like there's a lot of pitching gurus out there. I don't know. I don't necessarily I'm not mad about it either.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they can find somebody else. As long as they do a good job at finding a good replacement, then it all means nothing.
Yeah, I think there's probably more to it. And I hear you. You're going in game, day to day, those sort of things. But what about organizational strategy and the way that you lead a staff and the way that what I mean? There's other things involved there too, where you have guys there who can pick up on those things as well. But how do you handle the rest of hopefully they don't have the pitching coach for the major league team being the pitching director for the organization. They need to have somebody above that.
Yeah.
To be a pitching director of the whole organization, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then have the major league pitching coach carry out that strategy and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know.
It's just hard to think of because, I pitched in college. I coached in high school. But, I mean, these athletes are miles apart.
Right.
From where I was and who I coached.
You're literally doing those things that you're talking about.
Yeah.
You're literally doing those things every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to concentrate on, hey, whatever. I mean, we've heard a couple different times that Mitch Keller's pointing out to Oviedo that he's tipping pitches. You know what I mean? So there's situations like that.
Yeah.
Maybe
maybe
that's
part of it.
That's a good question. Maybe he's not catching that, and our pitchers are the ones picking up on that. Maybe that was part of the whole thing.
So
I don't.
you had Oviedo you had Bednar tipping. These guys are tipping pitches, and Marines maybe Marine isn't catching that stuff, and that's a big deal. It really is.
Yeah. All right, so let's take a look at these guys. Either way, right? We need. I don't know. I'm just kind of let's ride it out. Whoever they bring in, let's see what these guys are made of anyway. I just don't know how it. To me, the hitting side of things is much different than what you're seeing on the pitching side. We're doing well with pitching, but I think we're doing well with pitching talent.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of it there. I don't know. Really interesting. Let's go ahead and go through this, Jake. Let's talk about the players here. We've got a couple messages in the chat already about trades and who they might trade. Bucko Mike saying Dennis Santana, rumored to be dealt at the winter meetings. Martin says that he thinks they'll have to trade Keller and Santana. And Doug says, sorry, I'm late. Anyway, let's go through the rotation options, and then you just chime in when you feel like you need to chime in, and then let me get through the list, and then we'll talk about it. So I would say rotation options: Paul Skeens, Mitch Keller, Mike Burrows, Carmen Mlodzinski, Johan Oviedo, Braxton Ashcraft, Bubba Chandler, Jared Jones, Thomas Harrington, Hunter Barco. Anybody else that I didn't mention? I think that's pretty much the list.
Yeah, I don't hear anybody. I didn't think
So-
of anybody else.
There's 10.
I'd say it should
I
be
had
like
to
9 or
count.
10.
Yeah, there's 10. Now, Jared Jones, obviously, I don't think he's ready to start the season. So you're down to 9. But he'll probably see some innings, see some action in 2026.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got that. You've got 9 other options. Obviously, one of the things that we'll get to is trades and who's available and who would you trade and how would you go about it. I don't really think there's a whole lot to say about this group unless you've got something. I mean, Paul Skeens is about to win a Cy Young. Mike Burrows and Braxton Ashcraft, huge gains. Hunter Barco got a cup of coffee at the end of the year and looked like he earned it. Like he looked good.
Mm-hmm.
Thomas Harrington looked good up until the season, and he really had a rough year.
Yeah.
So looking for a bounce back from Harrington. I'm in no hurry. I don't think anybody's in any hurry. He's going to have 2 options still, so there's no hurry there. But he's definitely depth.
Yeah.
And you'd like to see a little bit of a bounce back there. I'd ask you about Carmen Majinski.
I think the big question mark in that is with Majinski. If you deal Santana, I'm looking at Majinski and saying, hey, man, I'm dealing Dennis Santana. We need a closer. What do you think about not just going to the bullpen, but becoming a closer?
Just because I like Harrington, Bucko Mike says Harrington's the 10th guy. Jared Jones is the 10th guy. Just because of injury. But I get it. He's the 9th guy.
I think Majinski is. I think he's capable of becoming a starter in the league.
Mm-hmm.
But when I look at the group of starters that we actually have, it's like the strongest thing that we have.
So
it's not close.
If I just said that Jared Jones is the 10th guy and Harrington's the 9th, Majinski the 8th, or is he still higher than that? How do you go there? Let me start with this.
Opinion,
Mike Burrows is there because he has 0 options, right? So he's on this team. So so is Carmen Majinski the same? He does have an option.
Yes, Majinski's in the major leagues.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
And I'm just not I'm not able to squeeze him into my rotation.
And spring training might play some of that out. I'm willing to. I think he showed enough that I'm willing to. I want him in the bullpen, but also if Barco comes in and he's not sharp, if Bubba's not sharp, or if hopefully not, but if you have a couple injuries,
say nothing changes though.
He's in my bullpen.
100%. He's not leapfrogging Burrows for me. He's not leapfrogging Ashcraft after what Ashcraft just did. He's not getting a start above Bubba. You're going to have Skeens, Keller, Burrows, Ashcraft, Bubba. I mean, pick your order.
Yeah, so this is Martin's is Skeens, Bubba, Ashcraft, Burrows, and Barco.
If you deal Keller, yeah. Get the lefty in there. Or it's going to be a veteran that you sign like we did with Quintana or something like that.
Doug asked, does Majinski have the velo to close?
Majinski has the pitches to close. So Majinski has the tenacity to close.
In this last year, 1.3 whip, which is obviously not what you want, but if I look in the pitching role, as a reliever, as a starter, it's a 1.5 whip. As a reliever, it's a 1.09 whip. And so that bodes much better in that. And it's a pretty even split, 215 batters faced as a starter, 204 as a reliever. Some of that as a bulk reliever, but that's not the point. You know what I mean? Like, He finished 7 games. Really 48 and 2/3 as a starter innings, 50 and a third as a reliever. So really even numbers across the board. And you can look at what he was able to do. 2.15 ERA out of the pen and a 4.99 as a starter. So, yeah, I mean, he's definitely built to be a better pitcher out of the bullpen. But, Jake, I hate to bring it to this, but a 2.15 ERA out of the bullpen makes just a little bit less than a 4.99 ERA out of as a starter. That's just the way it goes in this game right now. You're going to pay if you're a veteran, you're coming into this and you had a 4.5 to a 5 ERA. My goodness, they'll pay you $10 million to do that out of the rotation.
Yeah.
And as a reliever, a 2.15, those are good, but his 9.5 strikeouts per 9 isn't crazy. So he's probably getting 7 to 8, maybe 9 million. And that's if he's proven to do it in high leverage.
Yeah.
Which this isn't. You know what I mean? And so, man,
I'm looking at his average fastball is about 96. I think that plays.
Well, you got to understand too, Jake, that's pitching multiple innings a game.
Yeah.
That ticks up to 98 if he's only got to throw 1 inning. Yeah. If he's a closer throwing just the 9th and he's just letting it rip, yeah, it's going to be harder than that. So, yeah, I think it's there. I don't know if everything else is there, especially with a guy who really wants to start. But it's definitely interesting. Yeah, Bucko Mike says he's seen 98 at times.
Yeah, and it's just, for me, I understand if you want to be a starter, but if I'm not asking you to just be run-of-the-mill bullpen guy, hey, closer's different, man. It's a different animal.
And there's time. Yep.
Yeah, I could see that being an option if they do trade Santana. Because you can't. Another guy that would be a good as a closer, but he's not there yet, would be like Kyle Nicholas.
Yeah,
but he's got to get control.
Yeah.
Before he can really take that jump.
I don't trust that. I think he's got all the stuff for high leverage. I don't trust it because of the walks.
Yeah.
Martin says they tried Majinski as a starter last year, could only go 3 innings. Let's remember that this is a guy that was blown away his previous innings. A lot of that was strategy. You're not going to have him go further. He'd previously thrown 50 innings last year. So I guess I'm not comparing that with, if I look at the majors too. 2024 overall, there's 18. So you're looking at 78 innings total. In 2022, he threw 100 innings, but that's been a minute. So the home run, Seattle has just tied the game. Cal Raleigh. Big dumper. Tie game 1-1. That's big in the 6th. Your star's got to show up, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I think the 3-inning thing was maybe more by design than it was necessarily he can only go 3 innings. But
yeah.
But it is it's the ERA for me. Like the 4.99. Like that's I'm not worried about the 3 innings as much as I'm worried about the fact that he could go 3 innings out of the bullpen and he was fine. It was just starting the game. So it's just hard. Bucko Mike says 2 rotation spots will be piggybacks. Could be. Absolutely could be. I don't hate it. You're not going to drill. We talk about innings all the time. There's not 200 innings from these guys. You're going to have to figure it out. We know innings limits on this.
Yeah, I think you can do that with 1 spot. I don't know. I don't like it.
Skeens is fine, right? He's let go. He's doing it all, right?
Yeah.
If Keller's still there, he's fine. He's doing it all. So you've got 2 spots there. But then you go to Mike Burrows, who had 96 innings. He tops out at 130, something like that. I don't have I should have wrote the numbers down because I don't have with their minor league innings here. But I know Burrows has some minor league innings there, so maybe he's at 120, 130. Still, you're talking about 150 innings, something like that. Majinski, same thing. Like we've talked about that. Well, this says Carmen Majinski 99 innings. What was I looking at? Yeah, 99 innings. Okay. So still, like that's a guy that you're trying to be careful. Oh, I was just looking at the years before. Braxton Ashcraft, 69, and then whatever he had in the minors, like he's also right around 120. Bubba was right around 120. Like those guys aren't going much further than 150 innings. They're just not going to. With all the injuries and the way that they throw these days, they're just not going to go more than 150 innings. Here you go. Ashcraft and Burrows, 150. Bucko Mike says Bubba, 150. So like when you start to look at that, they're going to have to figure it out, and they can piggyback these guys, and they can go 4 innings each, and then you only have 1 inning, if they're all doing well. So I think because you're so deep and because you have a lot of guys, I think that's a good move. I'll go ahead and say it while we're on the starting pitching though. If they trade Mitch Keller, this was in here before. Sherrod says if Keller is traded, it's Skeens, Bubba, Burrows, Ashcraft, lefty vet free agent. Oviedo and Majinski, long men, Barco and AAA. What do you think about that one?
Again, I don't hate it. But I don't see. I see you limiting yourself with bullpen help if you have 2 piggyback spots.
Well, you go
because you're gonna go through those 4 pitchers who will only be able to pitch those 2 days. And if one of them's not good that day, you're really putting yourself in a bind the rest of the week.
Sure. Well, you could still, yeah. I mean, I understand what you're saying. I think if you trade Keller, you have to sign a veteran that can just go.
Innings eater.
You have to sign an innings eater. Period. That's where I was going with that, and I think that's true. I really do think that you're going to see if they make moves, you will see them sign a free agent pitcher to eat innings. You almost have to.
It won't cost a lot of money.
No,
they'll get somebody for $5 to $8 million,
even if it's 10.
Mm-hmm.
Martin makes a good point. He says, "Don't want them to waste any money on pitching. Spend the money on bats." Well, you won't like what I have to say later, but but yes, I think Doug wonders how a new pitching coach will handle all these good problems. Yeah. And I mean, I actually think that the way they've been handling it is good. I think they've done a good job with the piggybacks, with pitch, with innings limits and everything. You have to try something. You can't just be like, well, we're not going to try anything. Let's just go out there and pedal to the metal and get outs. You don't do that. Well, especially when you're not winning. There's no upside to that. You're just going to injure people for multiple years for no reason at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think getting a veteran in here to start the season and to do something like that is I think it's really important for this team. If they trade Keller. If they don't, then it's Skeens and Keller at the top. And then you deal with those last 3 spots by saying we've got 2 guys in the bullpen who can go multiple innings if needed, and they're going to do it for these guys. If you got somebody if Bubba's hot out there and he goes through 6, fine, let him go through 6. Then you just go to your regular bullpen. You don't use one of those guys. They're coming in the next day. But the guaranteed next time that Bubba goes out there, he's thrown 4 innings and he's done. 3 innings and he's done. Like they'll deal with it that way. I'm going to let him go this start, but that means guaranteed I'm going to have to throw one of those guys next start because they're going to limit the innings. I'm not saying that I agree with it or not. I'm just saying that, this is how they've tried to handle this, and this is what they'll continue to do.
Yeah.
If you had to throw it out there right now, I'll go and throw mine because I ask you all the questions and may put you on the spot first. If I have to throw it out there right now, I'll go, and this is not in order, I'll go Skeens, Burrows, Oviedo, Bubba, and Ashcraft. I think that's my starting rotation. And I think that, and I'll say Barco, but I'm not going a 6-man rotation, but I'll say those 6 guys they're on the team and they're figuring it out one way or another. You know what I mean? And then if Carmen Majinski is probably my other guy who's just in the bullpen, he can go 1 inning, but he can also go 3 if I need him to. You know what I'm saying? But like the Pirates sign guys that go multiple innings, that Sugart's gone multiple innings. Matson's gone multiple innings. Nicholas has gone multiple innings, although I don't like him going multiple innings. But like they've gotten other guys who can do that anyway. So keep that going out of the bullpen. You know what I mean? And if you got a bunch of 2-inning guys, then you can get through all that. Yeah. So let's move on to the bullpen then. I think we're about to, unless you wanted to throw your rotation out there. I forgot.
I mean, it's not much different. So
okay.
Yeah, I mean those are the 6 I think, because I mean Barco you throw in there because he's a lefty.
Yeah, I like that. And you know what? I didn't even say Mitch Keller when I went through mine. I was going to say Mitch Keller, and I didn't. So Mitch Keller's on mine, unless they trade him. If they trade him, just replace him with a veteran starter because they will have to sign one. They'll have to sign somebody that's an innings eater. I actually don't care if he's left-handed or not. Obviously, that works, but I want the better pitcher, not necessarily the left-handed pitcher. And I wouldn't hate a guy like Nick Martinez, who has a lot of experience in the bullpen and doesn't mind being pushed to the bullpen if maybe there's a guy that is going to pass him up. I think somebody with bullpen experience like that is really smart, because you could say you're a starter, and then at some point, if I need to move you to the pen, I can. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, let's go over the bullpen here. The options on the 40-man: Dennis Santana, Isaac Matson, Chase Sugar, Kyle Nicholas, Johan Ramirez, Colin Holderman, Dowry Moretta, Justin Lawrence, Evan Sisk, Cam Sanders, Michael Darrell Hicks, and Jack Little. Who? Exactly. So let's go through that list right there. Obviously, Justin Lawrence, Dowry Moretta, Johan Ramirez, and Dennis Santana. Those are guys with 0 options. You keeping all those guys? Johan Ramirez, by the way, is going to arbitration, I believe. I say that because I'm about to tell you, like, we need to just.
Sorry, I'm looking at that list and again.
Yeah, I'm just going to say it then. Johan Ramirez for me is out. No options, and he's going to arbitration. Like, I'm going to spend my money elsewhere. Oh, the Mariners just took the lead.
It just depends on what that. I don't know. I'm probably going. I like him. I think he's got some nasty stuff, but I wouldn't be mad if they let him go. Like, I wouldn't care.
Johan Ramirez?
Yeah.
.540 ERA with a 1.47 whip. Sorry, I'm just throwing it out. I'm just reminding you a little bit.
Yeah, I know, but I've seen him be nasty.
Okay.
Like when everything, all of his stuff's good. Like when he's on, he's nasty.
12.2 strikeouts per 9 innings, right? This is what you're looking at. I can see it. It's there. I think overall.
He just has his bad outings that are just atrocious.
Yeah, but I felt like every time we needed him too, it was just bad. So, yeah, I get that.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not going to sit here and argue about letting him go. Like I don't care, but he's got stuff in the tank. I don't know.
So when you think about that, I want to pull up Johan hit 98 wild. Yeah, I mean, I don't. Once again, velo's not everything, and I understand the stuff is there. I like it too, but I'm looking at the projected salaries here, or arbitration numbers here. So I'm just pulling this up because I think this plays right. So we've got Johan Ramirez due to make $1.2 million in arbitration. Like that's where I'm at. Like no, I can spend that money better than that.
Yeah, that's fair.
And so let's go ahead and I know it's not a 0 options guy, but Colin Holderman 1.7. See you later, buddy.
Bye.
See you later, buddy. We're done with that. when I start to look at this, Dowry Moretta's on that list that I just mentioned. He's $800K. Justin Lawrence, $1.2 million. I liked what I saw when I saw it. So, I'm open to that. And then Dennis Santana, $3.4 million. He's your closer. I hear the, I hear the trade opportunity. For me, I just don't trust anyone else we have. And I don't think you can spend $3.4 million and get that. So for me, I'm just spending the $3.4 million. I have to have Dennis Santana. If I'm planning on winning at all, then I have to have a closer. And I think Santana gives me an option. He's already here. It's $3.4 million. I'm fine with that. I just don't think that. And then he's going to go to free. That's fine. If you're not in it, trade him at the deadline. Get something back for him. And then give somebody else a chance. But I can't trust anything else there. Those are your zero options, guys, right? I like Mattson. I like Sugar. I think he'll bounce around. Probably his last chance to really break loose. Same thing with Kyle Nicholas. He's got an option next year. He'll be able to be sent up and down as he's working on stuff, but it's his last chance to really make it work as well. You've got some guys rounding out the bottom end, and that's fine. The problem is Johan Ramirez can't take Michael Darrell Hicks's spot because he doesn't have options and he's making way more money, right? So that's just not an option. All right, so Sugart is not arbitration. Bucko Mike says, what is Sugart's arbitration numbers? He's not arbitration. He's still got, I think, maybe 2 years before he gets there. Jake, I'll let you answer this. Cheryl says, can Isaac become a closer?
I think he's got the personality. I think it fits him.
Does he have the stuff?
But I'm not 100% sure if he's got the stuff.
Yeah.
I think it'd be fun. I think he'd be fun to watch as a closer. I just don't know. I don't know. It's like you said, it's a trust thing too. I don't know if I would trust him in the let's trade Santana and let's go with.
Yeah,
Mattson.
you got to see it more than 1 year. Yeah, you got to see it more than 1 year.
I like him.
Yeah. So Martin says, I worry about the lack of lefties in the pen. Well, this is a big deal, and this is it. I'm in on bringing Ferguson back.
Yeah.
I'm in. That's who you look through the list. I want Ferguson back. He's available. Let's bring him back. That's my deal. But I think, and I know this is what I was talking about, Martin, when you said you don't want to waste any money on pitching. Man, I think this bullpen is in need of a lot of help. Isaac Mattson is a great story. It's fun. I'm not saying he's not good. He absolutely can be good again. He can continue this and he can just be a good pitcher and just figured something out. Absolutely. But when you see something for 1 year and it's a guy who is showing up real late in his career and had a path the way that he did, it's not always a thing that sustains. Hopefully for him, it does. And I still believe in what I saw, so I think it can. But I just think that you prepare. I think that you prepare for, just in case it's not, right? Just in case it doesn't come back. I thought the same about Dowry Moretta. I really liked Moretta. I love the backward slider, the whole 9 yards. And then when he got hurt, I was like, I don't know what he's going to be like when he comes back. And I don't think that I saw as much, but give him another offseason. Maybe we'll see him return to something a little more, a little closer to what he was.
Yeah.
But I really think that they need to spend money on this bullpen, and I would do it. I wouldn't even hate it if they look to bring somebody like Tim Meza back. You look at the lefties, and there's guys out there who are possibilities. And I don't think that you have to get real cute with lefties. You just go out there and you get somebody who has some stuff that you like. Yeah. But Caleb Ferguson would definitely be on my list.
Yeah. I'm looking through just a little list here of lefty relievers, and there's names out there, but I mean, you've seen Caleb Ferguson. You know what he's going to bring to the table.
Who else though?
He's south of 30.
Yep. How about Steven Matz? Bucko Mike brings up Steven Matz. The thing is you don't have a pitching coach yet.
Right.
Who's going to weigh into this and say, I had this guy at this club and I think he's better than what we just saw. I think some of those things. Martin asked about Sisk. Yeah, he'll come back, but he has two options. I think he's depth. And so I think that's what he comes back as, is depth. He's a guy that you're going to be able to move up and down. If there's an injury, then he can come in and do something. I think all that's fine, right?
Yeah. There's just not a lot of names on there. Like the names that you see that you recognize, it looks like it's going to cost you money. Got AJ Minter, $11 million player option.
Which is going to be declined. He's not going to get.
Yeah.
But right. Bucko Mike's Matt's only 11 walks in 77 innings. And he had some time, like he's a little, I mean, that's good because he's got some experience both starting and relieving. So when you're looking at, probably a guy 77 innings, you're looking at a guy who can probably go multiple innings. I imagine it's him.
Yeah.
Sherrod's bullpen is Santana, Matson, Lawrence, Moretta, Nicholas, Majinski, Oviedo, which is this long guy, Majinski and Oviedo, if you remember, and then free agent lefty. I got to be honest, man. I mean, Nicholas and Matson have options. I need one more free agent. I need one more guy coming in. I just want this bullpen to be better, and you know how many guys you throw out of the bullpen every year.
Yeah.
Now, there are some other guys. Let's go ahead and talk about these guys, because there's one in particular that I think is going to be an addition to this team. But there's some prospects or Rule 5 guys, so to speak. Antoine Kelly, AA right now, is Rule 5 eligible. He's 22 years old. Wilbur Dotel is 23. He's in AA, is also Rule 5. Sean Sullivan made his way up to AAA. He's 25 years old. Eddie Yeen, the one that a lot of people are talking about, he's also minor league free agent eligible. And Miles, you're beating me to it. My favorite one on this list, Brandon Bidwell, is Rule 5 eligible. He's 25 years old, and he figured something out. The numbers for Brandon Bidwell are ridiculous for last year. He started in high A in Greensboro and pitched 16 games there, 14 in AA, 9 more in AAA. So in all, 40 games, 61 innings to a 0.74 ERA, a 110 average against, and a 0.80 whip. He was absolutely dominant. 61 innings and struck out 69 guys, walked 27. He gave up 5 earned runs. He did not give up a home run. Again, 61 innings, he gave up 5 earned runs. And he's a Rule 5 guy. This is the easiest decision they have this year.
Yeah.
It was going to be Bubba and Barco, but they already put them on the 40-man. This guy gets on the 40-man immediately. I'm not even this is going to happen. And if he's still pitching the way that that these numbers suspect, he's there. We're talking about a guy who's pitching in major leagues. He's going to be 26 years old. No, he'll be 25. He's 24 right now. And his birthday's in June, so he'll start the season at 24. So, we'll see how it goes, but this guy is in the mix. He'll have 3 options. He'll move up and down. You've got Chase Sugar. You've got Isaac Matson. Those guys are going to move. They're going to fluctuate. Moretta cannot. Lawrence cannot. Those are 0 options guys. So they're going to be on this team. They can't be sent down. Those other guys can, and they will. Kyle Nicholas still, he'll have an option year next year, so he'll be able to move up and down. And you're going to need all that. Cam Sanders will still be around maybe if he lasts all this. I mean, when we just talked about Johan Ramirez is gone, Colin Holderman is gone, you're talking about maybe Jack Little's gone, Daryl Hicks is gone. So, like, you know what I'm saying? You're going to be able to retain some of these guys and have some depth, but with Brandon Bidwell showing up, and maybe some of these other guys, I don't know how you feel about Eddie Yean. I don't know if you think that those numbers are there. Personally, I don't like a lot of the things that are there. He could become a minor league free agent if he figures it out somewhere else. That's fine. So,
yeah, that's. I'm not concerned about the trade piece at this point.
Are we good? What are you saying, Bucko Mike?
He wants you in the bullpen.
He wants me in the bullpen.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
Josh, how's your
Bidwell,
pitching career
there
go?
he is. 18 hitless innings in a row this year at one point for Brandon Bidwell. Dude's a stud, man. I'm really looking forward to that. I think that's going to help out the bullpen. I got to get 2 lefties. That's what I want to do to this. If you keep Santana, I need 2 lefties. I don't like a lot of the righty options like for the 8th inning right now. I think you mix and match. I just want 2 dominant guys in my pen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And right now we just don't have it. We had it with Santana Bednar. We decided to get rid of Bednar. It is what it is. We've got, we're going to get Flores and we're going to see what he's made of. And there's other guys too, but I don't know, man.
Yeah, it should be interesting. And I think the one thing that has to happen before anything is we got to get a pitching coach.
Yeah. Yeah, because he's going to weigh into all this stuff. All right, who are you trading, Jake? Let's get through the end of this here. Who are you actually trading? I like that Bucko Mike, by the way. Matz and Ferguson, I'd be totally happy with that. I'd be like, okay, a good offseason with the bullpen. You guys did well. Now let's move on. All the while you're trying to do bats. So if you're trying to trade, if you're trying to do something like that, are you moving Keller? Because then that adds another free agent you got to sign.
I'm moving. So what I wrote down last week is as I'm trading 2 of our pitchers, probably Keller, Oviedo, because I'm not selling on like Burrows, Ashcraft, Bubba, those guys. So like Keller and Oviedo are my 2 pitchers that I'm willing to trade and move on from. And they're the ones that are going to get you something in return. And Oviedo is not going to get you a lot. And I don't necessarily say you have to trade him, but I think this is probably the year that we trade Keller in the offseason.
So if you do trade Keller, Jake, all of a sudden you open up a lot of room money-wise.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that there is something there. I think if you're trading, I don't think Oviedo necessarily gets you a major league bat. And I think that's the problem with the Oviedo trade for me. If he's packaged with a big prospect, yes, I could see it happening. Right? But then you're dealing like a Termar Johnson, or you know what I'm saying, like somebody that's up there in the prospect ranks in order to say, but we're also going to send you Oviedo to get you major league help. He's more or less the guy you're adding to the deal to sweeten it. Where Mitch Keller, I think, has the potential to say, we'll send you Keller and not a Termar Johnson level prospect, but you're probably going to have to spend some more prospect capital in a Mitch Keller trade to get a major league bat back. Like a Wilbur, like a Wilyer Abreu is going to cost more than just Mitch Keller. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to do something else as well. And maybe some of those is hitting, but let me ask you this. How about Jared Jones? We traded Tyone while he was injured. We traded Brubaker while he was injured. Do you try to move Jared Jones in the middle of his rehab and knowing that the ceiling's high for him? And so people will say like, oh, okay, if I don't need it right now, but this guy's legit and he's going to have 5 years of control along with it. I just need to get him rehabbed back and get him back here. And, could that be a guy that you'd be willing to deal from as well?
It's tough, man. With a guy like Jones, like this Skeens Jones was so fun. The electric company. I don't know, man. I get it. I understand where you're coming from. I think you could get a good return out of that because of the 5 years attached. But I don't think I'm trading Jones at this point.
So I guess the next place I'll go with this is with Mitch Keller being the one to go. And this is why he's the biggest rumor. With Mitch Keller being the one to go, he helps no matter what. Even if you don't get that guy back for Mitch Keller, you still clear a lot of payroll.
Yeah.
Which opens you up to maybe offering a little bit more to somebody in free agency.
Yeah.
Or bringing in a guy in a trade that has more money involved that maybe a team's looking to say, like, we need to move this. The one thing that I want to be really careful with, I'm not sure the level of talent we have right now to bring back a major league hitter. It's going to cost us more than just major league players that we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
It's going to. So the question is, how far do you go? I guess, okay, I'm trying to figure out how to word this the best way, Jake, and I'm failing miserably. I'm failing to do this.
You're killing me, Smalls.
So what I'm saying is you have to do something now.
Mm-hmm.
And now's not the time to love the guys that you have where, oh boy, sorry, I thought that was a home run. Now's not the time to love the guys that you have in order to say, let's just see if we can get the best out of these guys. Instead, now might be the time to actually move them.
Yeah.
And the better the player, the better the player you get in return is. The more control they have, the more value they have. And so I don't know how you pick which prospects and which young players you like better, but there has to be a moment where you're saying, like, I just know I need to retain this many pitchers, right? I have to have at minimum 8 starting pitching options. At minimum 8.
Yeah.
Right. And so if you deal from that, you've got to add back from free agency. Mitch Keller gives you the flexibility to do something like that. They're just not going to be able to sign a lot of free agents. And I think that moving Mitch Keller means you clear payroll as well. But I don't like that because I feel like that's your veteran. You need him for innings too.
Yeah. He gets a lot. Oh, it's tough, man. Yeah, I agree with Martin there. I like to keep Jones, but if the deal's right, I would consider it. And that's it. It all depends on the package you're getting back. If it's a good one, then we have to be willing to part ways with some good players.
Yeah, I think if the deal is actually right, I'm listening on anybody not named Paul Skeens or Connor Griffin.
Mm-hmm.
If the deal is right,
yeah,
I'd trade O'Neal Cruz. I'd trade Brian Reynolds, right? If it's right.
Right.
I don't think there's anybody that I'm saying, like, nah, I'm not dealing him. I guess it'd be hard. You could never get the deal right for a guy like Bubba. Maybe even Barco. Like, who's giving you a guy for that?
Right.
Because it's going to have to be the real deal. Maybe not even Barco. I could see trading Barco.
Maybe.
Miles makes a good point. They really only need one more year of Mitch on the roster. So if you do, like I said, if you move him and you sign a veteran in his place, a 1-year deal veteran, then that's it. So I don't know, man. I do think there's, Miles says, got to let go of the prospect hugging in this. Yeah, I don't know. Prospects are cheap. If you can make them work, it certainly is a really good thing. And I'm being careful when I say prospects. I really even mean the young players. I mean, is Bubba Chandler? I mean, they're still considered prospects, right? But they've made it. So
yeah,
Bubba Chandler, Hunter Barco, Braxton Ashcraft, these are dudes. And I'm willing to deal any of them. Not all of them, not more than one of them, only one of them. But I'd be willing to if it means we can get hitters. Major league hitters, not the password, Justinson Garcia, not him. He's not proven at the major league level. Wilyer Abreu, Cedon Rafaela, and I'm only talking about Boston right now, but you know what I'm saying? Like, those are the guys I'm looking at. I guess there's some other guys around that you're going to have to, like, there's some risk involved too. You have to make a deal to get to, like, you have to take a risk on a guy who is there but is ready to break out, I guess. So there is some risk there, but it has to be a major league player.
I agree.
I don't know, man. I think there's a lot of strength in having the rotation that they have. So I also think, why wouldn't you just stick with your strength? I'd love to just say, let's build this thing off of the free agent market. I just don't think they'll spend the money to do it. You're going to end up with a platoon of Starling Marte and Mike Yastrzemski in left field. You know what I mean? Which wouldn't be terrible, actually. Which would not be a terrible platoon in left field. But it's not the kind of guy that we're hoping they go get.
Yeah.
Actually, wonder what they could get that combo for. It's a veteran combo, right?
Yeah.
Mid to late 30s. You get your lefty and your righty. It's kind of interesting, Jake.
Is Yastrzemski that old?
I think he was late showing up.
Mm.
Mike Yastrzemski is currently 35 years old. Just turned 35 in August. Just turned 35 in August. I don't know, man. Giants and Royals last year. 109. I mean, he's been 109 OPS plus, 110, 114, a 97, but that's back in 2022. And then before that, it was 106, 164, and 122. I mean, you're not getting that guy back. But he made his debut at 28.
Okay.
Bucko Mike says 15 plus million for both Marte and Yaz. You think? On 1-year deals? Yeah, maybe. I think that's probably
7,
fair.
8 million.
7-8 million, somewhere in there. I think you could probably get Marte for that. I think, yeah, I mean, I think that's probably reasonable. You could go 15 million for those two guys and shore up left field just like that. That'd be a much better option than what we've had out there.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be
aside from the hot streak of
that'd be so
Scam.
much better. It doesn't matter. Scam had a 0.2 WAR last year. At 2.7 alone from Yastrzemski. Martin says rather have Kepler. Kepler's 15 million by himself. That's one thing that I think is overlooked when it comes to these platoon options is you could pay for two guys for the same price as one guy and get the same production.
Yeah. Or slightly better.
And then if one of them gets hurt, like if Kepler gets hurt, you're stuck with Jack Swinski out there. Or Alexander Canario out there. You're right back to square one, where if Yastrzemski gets hurt, you just run Marte out there every day.
Yeah.
Or you put somebody like Jack Swinski in for the platoon spot and still be, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think that sometimes that's overlooked on the platoon side of things, that if you get platoon players and get two of them, then maybe that's an option. So I don't know, man. I just threw that out there. There could be other guys too. You know what I mean? There's going to be several guys available that are in that scenario, right? And that you could move around and you could do different things with. But like, you could improve an offense with a veteran contract on a 1-year deal if you're not getting your trades. And we know, or at least we think that, well, we do know that this guy hasn't been able to come through with any trades. So what makes us think it's going to happen?
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting offseason to see if he can actually pull something off and it be a good move.
Cross the finish line, right?
Yeah, the only trades he's pulled off ended up biting him. And again, I still, to this day, I do not blame him for the De La Cruz trade. Like,
Bryant,
yeah, like he was hitting homers at a good pace in Miami.
Yeah,
and just completely fell apart. I'm sorry, but I just can't blame Sherrington for that.
Well, it's his trade, so kind of hard not to. But yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, he should have gotten better production from him.
He should have gotten better production from him. And I know he fell apart and he hasn't recovered either.
Right.
So it's not like it's...
And I think there was a lot of things that told you that could have happened.
Maybe, but I mean, he was putting together a good season. I didn't hate that trade when he made it.
Yeah, I mean, he was still...
I hated it in hindsight.
Yeah, it was a 93 OPS plus with the Marlins, right? So he was less than average, but he did have 18 home runs. He also had 118 strikeouts. Like, there was a lot there that his on base percentage was 289. So what you were hoping for when you got De La Cruz was he's going to have years of options, and we're hoping he gets better.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, it got worse, like way worse. He went from a 289 on base to a 220 on base. That stinks. And
it's bad.
You know what I mean? And only hit 3 home runs in his 44 games. But you brought in a guy who was 7% less than league average overall OPS, and he had a negative 0.2 WAR. He wasn't good on defense. He did have 18 home runs, but that's the best you could have said for him. And
I think that's all he was looking for was just somebody with some power.
But the year before, he was an 88 OPS plus with 19 homers. I mean, like, just wasn't a lot there. Like, he's been a bad player even before the trade. But you didn't give up anything for him.
Right.
You know what I mean? You gave him Shim on this page. And Garrett Forster. I have his Bowman first card, I think, signed. Anyway, that's what you gave up for him. So as far as the trade itself, like, the player was bad. That was your acquisition. That's what's bad. But the problem is that's the only thing he could make happen.
Yeah.
It's got to be better than that.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Peak.
Bucket Mike, $28 million for Marte, Yaz, Mats, Ferguson. And that might be it, though. Like, if that's where you go, like, that's all you're spending, probably. Unless you deal Keller, then you've got some more money to go get your veteran starter. But then you've got to acquire
another bat.
Well, no, you're going to acquire that in the Keller trade, right? So you're going to have to acquire your third base, plus you have another trade that you can do just dealing your prospects to try to get somebody else in there. $28 million. I don't know where they're at. I don't know what they have to spend. Didn't they clear like $40 million? So they've got more to spend even to get right back to where they are. Obviously, some of that comes from arbitration, but you're still going to have like, yeah, they almost need to trade Keller.
Well, you can wish in one hand and crap in the other. and see which gets filled first.
You got anything else for tonight, Jake?
Oh man, no, I think I'm good. I don't. Let's watch some playoffs, I guess.
Yeah, watch some playoffs. We'll be back next Sunday. I'll do a couple shows this week. But we'll be back for the live show next Sunday, and that's what we got. Miles, that still doesn't address the left side of the infield. What a mess. Yeah, but like I said, that's coming via trade. Like you know you're going to have to trade. That's only free agent.
Yeah.
That's it. That's only free agency. So there's multiple ways to acquire players, and one of them might just be sitting at AA right now who could play shortstop for you next year.
Good chance.
And Jared Triolo is going to start until then, unfortunately. That's what we're dealing with. Yeah. All right. Let's play some music.
This is fine.
Oh, man. My screen didn't show up when I did that.
This is fine.
There.
There
I
you
wonder
go.
why that wasn't working. Now it'll work. There we go.
This is fine.
We got it.
There we go.
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber.
Let's go, Bucks.
Let's go, Bucks.
Thanks for listening to my dad and Uncle Jake on the Bridge to Buctober podcast. Follow them on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Bridge2Buctober. Don't forget to subscribe so you know when new episodes are released. Clear the deck, cannonball coming, and let's go Bucks!